I'm Max Duncan. I'm a video journalist and documentary filmmaker. I've worked for many years in China, first with Reuters and then later independently. And I always try to tell the amazing transformation of China through the testimonies of its people. A very important part of China's transformation, of course, has been the rural to urban migration. People moving from the countryside to the cities, either seeking temporary work or more permanently. And I really wanted to make a piece to show what it's like to be part of this great flow of humanity, especially for people who've come from a background which is essentially still agrarian. That ultimately led me to the Yi people, who are one of China's largest ethnic minorities, who live in Liangshan, a prefecture in Sichuan province. And that's really how the project started. Like many others, the parents in the family decided to leave their children back in Liangshan in the countryside. There are an estimated 9 million children like this left behind in the Chinese countryside, some in the care of grandparents, some staying in school dormitories, and some even left by themselves. And you could see in this family that a lot of the responsibility fell on the eldest daughter, Wang Ying, who essentially in many ways had to take up the role of mother to her younger siblings. And for their parents, this dilemma of whether to provide for their children emotionally or provide for them economically, I think is one that's faced by millions of parents across China and in fact elsewhere in the world as well. I decided to focus on an Yi family because I'd heard about increasing numbers of people from ethnic minorities going to work in the manufacturing zones along China's east coast. And in the making of the project, I really got drawn into their fascinating culture. They have their own language, both written and spoken. They have their own animistic religion, which you can see at the Torch Festival, which I visited. The Yi are also among the poorest people in China, and in many ways they've been unable to keep a pace with the development seen in some other rural areas. So, as well as telling a story of the challenges faced by the rural population in general, I wanted to tell a story about the challenges faced by the Yi and look at the impacts on a family like this, whether economically, culturally, or emotionally.